Hello and welcome to one of my least favorite engine swaps in Gran Turismo 7. Now I have had the chance to go on and experience a lot of the engine swaps that are in the game, and most of them are really amazing, but some of them aren't really that good. But everyone has their own opinion, and this is mine. This is a VW Beetle and it is powered by the engine from a Porsche Carrera RS. Now on paper that doesn't actually sound that bad, because both of these cars are actually quite similar. Now the Porsche is rear engine, rear wheel drive, lightweight, and so is the Beetle. However, it doesn't really fit well. In my opinion, I think that this engine swap is a bit too overpowered for the little Beetle to handle, especially if you have a bad tune in it. And that is what I have in the vehicle right now, and you can see that the majority of the weight is going to the rear wheels. That means cornering this car is absolutely terrible, and you can see the car is rather twitchy, and that could possibly lead to you actually spinning out. And another thing that doesn't help the Beetle is the fact that you aren't able to add downforce to the front of this vehicle, which means you end up doing massive wheelies and basically there's no grip on the front end. So your main thing to fix this is to add a ballast and put all the way to the front to help just better with cornering. And also something that is a very big problem that I found was the car. You can be full lock, turning to the left, and the vehicle will just go straight. The understeer is actually criminal with the little VW Beetle. But if there's one area that the Beetle does shine in, that has to be when it comes to its acceleration. The VW Beetle weighs just over 700 kgs and has over 400 brake horsepower, which means this vehicle takes off like a rocket, especially when all of the power is going to the rear wheels and all of the weight of the vehicle is at the back. So it really helps grip up quite a lot. However, with it having 450 brake horsepower, it still is able to light up the rear wheels. So before you even get behind the wheel of the VW Beetle with this Porsche engine swap, you need to guarantee that you have a good tune set up in the vehicle. Otherwise, you are not going to have a very good time. Now, after finding and working out a decent tune for the vehicle, it seems to have absolutely changed this vehicle's handling. Now, yes, the car doesn't have as much body roll, and that was a major factor with this vehicle. So what hasn't changed is that this car still lights up the rear wheels. It is still incredibly tricky to actually control. You aren't able to really go flat out through most corners because of the lack of downforce, but it is a lot better compared to having a very bad tune in the vehicle. Now this goes with most vehicles. If there's a bad tune in it, the car's going to be a lot slower and a lot worse. So with changing the tune, it has changed the Beetle, but it hasn't completely changed the experience, because with the Beetle, the car is still chaotic to drive. It is still very twitchy, it is very fast, and it's very all over the place. Now I know I personally struggle to actually put this vehicle in line, so I don't know. I'm not the best driver that's out there. I think I'm just okay, but I should still be able to manage a little VW Beetle. And yes, the car has understeer, but it is kind of an issue when you are trying to keep this car going straight. Now there are other engine swap vehicles that are tricky to handle, but it's a good tricky, it's a fun way, it's a fun experience, because yes, okay, the car is going fast, but just the way you drive it gives you such an adrenaline rush to a point where you're like, wow, okay, yes, this car is fighting me back, but there's just such a level of satisfaction of when you actually get the car right that is totally rewarding. And I just somehow don't feel that from the Beetle. The Beetle is just honestly a bit too wild for my liking, but to you might actually adore it, and I just can't drive the vehicle. But there is one vehicle that I cannot control at all, and that is the Sambabus. This is the VW Sambabus, and just like the Beetle, it is powered by the same engine. So that means 450 horsepower. Now, unlike the Beetle, somehow this is so much worse. If you get behind the wheel of an untuned Sambabus, it will, how do I say, it will try and end you. This car is a literal smoke machine. It has everything that the Beetle has, but I don't know, the way it just puts its power down and the way it takes corners is really so unpredictable and uncontrollable that you don't know what to do with yourself. But one thing I must say, this bus can slide. Now this is the only purpose that I can actually see you using this bus for, is if you want to do some drifting. Because if you decide, okay, I'm going to use this for some track racing, well, you can't. Especially if you drive with no traction control. Now me, I never have traction control on, as you can probably tell from the amount of smoke coming from this VW bus. And no, the head is not just gone on it. If I have to rate the VW Beetle out of 10 for chaos and just uncontrollability, well, I'm gonna give it probably an 8 out of 10. And the Sambabus is gonna be an 11. It's just incredibly twitchy and uncontrollable and just all over the place. Now, yes, the VW Beetle is lighter and faster. The Sambabus really is now, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's just so all over the place. Even with a good tune, the bus will still fight you unless you put on traction control. And all the traction control does is really limit the wheel spin, and the bus is actually quite fast. Now, yes, the traction control is going to be working overtime. You're going to feel such a restriction in power, but you're going to be going so much faster because you're not lighting up the rear wheels. You aren't going to be spinning out, but even with traction on, the bus is still rather tricky. And now, okay, this may be down to tuning, but as I said, I am not the best when it comes to driving. I'm not the best when it comes to tuning, but I think I'm quite alright. And the bus behind good hands could be one incredible vehicle. However, I do not possess those hands. Yes, on paper, the VW Beetle and the VW Bus are going to be incredible machines because they are lightweight, they are rear engine, they rear wheel drive, exactly like the car that they have the engine from. But unlike the Porsche Carrera RS, these cars are they're just hard to control. And if we do manage to find a good tune or decent tune, if you have a good tune and you want me to try it out, please comment down below. Let me know. We can get into contact and we can try and work something out to find a really good tune for the VW Bus and the VW Beetle. Because in my mind, I still believe that there is hope. If someone can nail the perfect tune for these cars, they will be absolutely unstoppable. But until then, these are some of my least favorite engine swaps in Gran Turismo 7. If you did go on to enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Gran Turismo 7 content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.